Good evening, friends. This is your host to welcome you through the creaking door into the inner sanctum. Well, went picnicking over the weekend. Found a lovely, restful, woodsy place. Oh, it was beautiful. So quiet, you could hear a body drop. And quite a few deers. The sun was so hot that one of our party melted to the ground. I'd always wondered over that waxen look about Charlie. Still, it's an ill wind because Charlie had his usefulness at that. Came the deep night, we ran a string through him and played marbles by candlelight.
Tonight's Inner Sanctum mystery, Pattern for Fear, was written by John Robert and stars Everett Sloane in the role of Ludwig with Cameron Prudhomme as Larrabee.
And now for tonight's ramble in the Never Never Land. We're in the Avalon Lounge, a fashionable metropolitan restaurant. A waiter approaches a table secluded behind an arrangement of tall potted plants. A lone patron sits at the intimate circular table for two.
Your order, sir? If you please, I will take your order.
You know what I want, Ludwig.
Oh.
Caught you unawares, huh?
I had forgotten you. In 5 years, one forgets.
And I'll reintroduce myself. Captain Larrabee, 9th Precinct. Did you read the morning papers, maybe?
I can recommend our lobster Newburg. The recipe...
A page 1 headline says that Guthrie Stewart dropped dead of a stroke.
Men die, Captain Larrabee. Every day men die, so that new
I
life...
thought maybe with Guthrie Stewart dead and gone now, you'd want to talk about things.
You were wrong, Captain Larrabee. I have no wish to talk.
Well, in that case, I guess I'll just have to make myself comfortable and wait right here.
You are just wasting your time.
I don't think so, Ludwig. You're still suffering something in silence. Guthrie Stewart died without a word. But there's an envelope somewhere now on its way over here to you.
An envelope?
Yes, it's coming by special messenger. The envelope reads, to be delivered on Guthrie Stewart's death. Don't look so befuddled. Stewart's lawyer tipped me off about that envelope 15 minutes ago. I said I'll wait, Ludwig. What I really mean is, we'll wait.
We wait, the policeman and I, in a grim watch for a messenger soon to come. Captain Larrabee doesn't say it, but I am his prisoner. The restaurant fills up with people, and my mind thinks back 5 years to this same table for two hidden behind the plants. I remember a conversation I overheard by chance, and the terror that came out.
Are you absolutely clear on what you are to do?
Lady, murder is my business.
Very well. Repeat my instructions again.
Okay, I'm up there on the terrace outside his bedroom holding a submachine gun. When the 11:30 train comes around the curve, I shoot to kill.
You empty the machine gun into his bed. Understand? You empty it.
You don't just want him killed, huh?
There must be no chance of his surviving this time.
This time? So you tried it before, huh?
Yes. Here. The address is on the slip of paper. Read it, memorize it, and then destroy it.
When do I get paid?
Tomorrow at 6. Here at this table. I'll leave first.
I watched her leave the restaurant. A heavily veiled woman in black whose face I could not see. A man was to be murdered by a killer for hire. A killer with a cold, businesslike look. I watched him read the address, tear it to bits, drop it into the potted plant, and then push the bits of paper under the earth. When he left, I recovered the bits of paper and pieced them together. The victim was Guthrie Stewart. The address was Havermeyer Heights, in the suburbs just outside the city. A man's life was in my hands. The murder was to be at 11:30. 10, I was in Guthrie Stewart's library warning him. But he was only amused. And his wife, too.
So I'm to be murdered in my bed.
Yes, at 11:30 when the train goes around the curve.
Well, darling, somebody's undoubtedly heard you snore and has finally decided to take drastic action.
Well, you'll make a charming widow, Ellen, if it all comes true.
But it is true, Mr. Stewart. You joke foolishly. I overheard them plotting. See, I have here the pieces of paper the killer threw in the base of the plant. Look.
That's my name and address, all right. But what does it prove? I'm in the phone book. Anybody could jot down my name and address. Anybody. What did you say your name was again?
Ludwig Heller. I am a waiter at the Avalon Lounge. You think perhaps I wrote your name down? The way you look at me, I see you think I am a crank. Even crazy, perhaps.
Well, frankly, Ludwig, I don't know exactly what to think.
You have no enemies?
Not a one, so far as I know.
I heard her speak. A voice lusting for blood. Your blood, Mr. Stewart. And I saw him. A man without a heart. A cold machine that kills. You are to die, Mr. Stewart. Hey, hear that? The train close to your home, just as I heard her say. Yes, laugh and make jokes, but when the 11:30 train goes around the curve, you are going to die, Mr. Stewart. A man's life was in my hands, but I couldn't make the victim believe in his own approaching death. I went to the local police station to a Captain Larrabee. There I blurted out the story once more. I waited while he talked to Guthrie Stewart on the telephone.
Yes, I got it. Yes, I understand, Mr. Stewart. Sure thing, I'll do just as you say. Look,
Ludwig Heller.
Look, Heller, I relayed what you told me to Guthrie Stewart.
But I told you it was of no use to do that. He just laughs at it.
He's not laughing anymore. As a matter of fact, he's hopping mad right now, and his missus, too. Hopping mad at you.
At me?
At you. He says if you keep peddling that fish story around, he's going to prefer charges of malicious persecution.
He will prefer charges against me?
Right. In fact, he left it squarely up to me. Now, you're to promise me you'll go about your business, whatever that is. I'm to clap you in the clink for observation.
He thinks I am crazy.
He's sure of it. As a matter of fact, from the looks of you, I'm not sure you're not crazy either. Now, are you going to do the sensible thing?
Yes. Yes, Captain Larrabee. I will go home. The sensible thing. Go home. 11 o'clock. In 30 minutes, a man would die, and his blood would stain all the rest of my life, because I was powerless to save him. The sensible thing. Go home, the police captain had said. But I did not go home. I had to see death look deep into its face. I returned to Havermeyer Heights to wait silently in the shadows on the terrace and watch. He was there, too. The killer and his machine gun. A black executioner waiting and ready. But Guthrie Stewart lived. I saw them in the pale moonlight on the terrace. A shaken man and a frightened woman, both in their nightclothes, armed and unharmed, seeking the assassin, but afraid to search for him. A moment later, I overheard him on the telephone talking with great excitement to Captain Larrabee.
I don't want any publicity on it, but an attempt was just made on my life. Yes. Someone machine-gunned my bed while the 11:30 went around the curve. What? I wasn't in my bed. A dummy was machine-gunned. I fixed the bedclothes to make it appear that I was in bed, just in case that Ludwig person was really telling me something.
I melted into the night like the killer had. Guthrie Stewart was safe. I had been spared his death. The sensible thing now was to go home. But I was to have another moment with the police that night. Walking along a tree-shaded road to a bus stop, a police car suddenly flew toward me, and I was ordered to halt.
You there! Stop!
But I didn't stop. Instead, I ran. I don't know why, but I ran like the wind.
Stop or I'll shoot!
Still I ran, faster than the bullets exploding behind me. I found a neck of woods and hid. I lay face down in the earth for hours, listening to the night. And then, just before morning, I started back to the city, sneaking along the back roads like a fugitive. A curious thing had happened to me. In that night, the deep guilt I was sure the killer must feel had transferred itself to me.
Well, Ludwig, the waiter, sure got himself one big tip to a slaughter. Poor Ludwig, his errand of mercy got him the bum's rush over at the Stewart's. What do you do with a character who laughs at an advance notice of his own death, did somebody ask? Strangle him on the spot, I say. That way he'll positively believe you the next time you're around. Yes, a murder in time certainly saves a lot of wasted breath. Tell a corpse he's dead and he'll never dispute it for a minute. Well, let's worm back into the story.
The next evening, I went to the Avalon Lounge to my job, as I always did. The police hadn't called, or Guthrie Stewart. It was as if there had been no night before. But there had been a night before. The same two were at their table again, behind the tall palms, as they had agreed to be. The heavily veiled woman in black and the hired killer. 5 years have passed. But I can remember that conversation I overheard word for word.
Bungler, Stewart is alive.
I sprayed the bed full of holes like a Swiss cheese, maybe 20 bullets.
But he wasn't in the bed.
Someone was. From where I stood, I could see a figure all curled up.
Well, you've got to do it all over again.
Okay. Tell me where and how.
Listen carefully. He will be at a shorefront casino in Norwalk tonight. He will motorboat there from Rye and then back the same way. You will wait at his landing pier. When he docks, you will have your second chance.
What do I do? Wait all night at the pier?
No. He always returns home close to midnight.
Which landing pier do I wait at?
Number 19. It's Stewart's privately. The motorboat he drives has a black eagle painted on it.
Will he be alone?
He usually is.
Do you have a face behind that veil?
Don't ever try finding out.
Guthrie Stewart's life was in my hands a second time, as if I had been appointed keeper of his destiny. I was there, too, with the fog curling around me just before midnight on the docks facing the Long Island Sound. I hid, but as before, the executioner stood in the fog and mist, not 20 yards away from me, waiting. There were midnight chimes, and on the water, moving closer, the sound of a motorboat returning to dock. The black eagle on the prow was hardly distinguishable. And then a figure stepped out from the boat to the pier. I saw the killer move, and I screamed, "Stewart, look out! There is a gunman!" He was in a heap on the pier, a white figure. I ran to him and kneeled down to see if life had gone completely. "Mr. Stewart! Mr. Stewart!"
That's not his name, Ludwig.
You are alive!
Very much so.
But he...
My pilot, Jameson. He got the bullets evidently intended for me. Do you get a pulse?
No, I don't think I do, but I'm not experienced in such things.
Then let me. He's alive.
I will call an ambulance.
No, I will. You go home.
Oh, but
Go home, Ludwig. It's better that you do, for both of us.
It is better for you that I go home?
Yes. I'd like this treated discreetly. I'm an investment broker, quite an important one.
I know.
You know?
Yes, I know a great deal about you.
That's odd.
Since I have been given your destiny in my keeping, in my hands, I have familiarized myself with things about you. The next day, a heavy manila envelope came to the restaurant for me from Guthrie Stewart. The letter told me about his investment business, his social position, his fear of scandal and things. Besides the letter, there was a check. A $2,500 check for me. The police didn't come until the next night. Captain Larrabee took me to the station house. Guthrie Stewart was there, and Mrs. Stewart. Captain Larrabee was trying hard to understand things.
Ludwig, who were you before you began waiting on tables at the Avalon, and before you started to overhear murder plots?
I was just myself in the world.
Oh, quit that kind of talk. I meant, what were you?
A waiter. I have always been a waiter.
Do you have a mental history somewhere? If you have, better talk up. Might help you out of a jam being mentally irresponsible. Okay, don't talk up. Mrs. Stewart.
Oh, yes, Captain Larrabee.
On this sheet, I have some of the speeches written. The speeches that Ludwig claims he's overheard that woman make. Now, please read them in your own natural speaking voice. And read them like a woman bent on getting somebody murdered.
Captain Larrabee, you dare...
Oh, look, Mrs. Stewart, no dramatics, please. I'm just doing a job. Now read them, please.
Very well. You empty the machine gun into his bed. Understand, you empty it. There must be no chance of his surviving this time. Oh, Captain Larrabee, must I go on?
No, that's enough. Is it the same voice, Ludwig, or almost the same voice?
No. The voices are entirely different.
You can say that positively?
Yes. Also, the other woman was taller and much stouter.
Okay, that's that. And I'm not surprised. I'm sorry, Mrs. Stewart.
You should be.
Put your hands out, Ludwig.
But put my hands out?
That's right. Bracelets for you. Ludwig Heller, you're under arrest for attempted murder.
I was sent to a mental ward for observation. There were tests, doctors examining me for weeks, and questions. And one day again, Captain Larrabee came to question me once more.
I found these certificates in your room, Ludwig. They're yours, aren't they?
Yes, they are mine.
Common stock certificates in the Guthrie Stewart Investment Company. 50 of them worth $100 apiece on their face. That's $5,000. Where'd you get $5,000 to invest in stocks?
It was my life savings.
From waiting on tables?
Yes, from waiting on tables.
The stocks took a drop, a big drop. These certificates are worth about 20 cents on the dollar today.
I know that, Captain Larrabee.
Yes, a bear market did it, some people think. A lot of big fellows squeezed a lot of little fellows, maybe. Is that how you figure your life savings were wiped out, maybe?
Maybe.
Guthrie Stewart's market operations cost you your life savings. Isn't that how you figured it? Isn't that why you came around telling him his life was in danger? To terrify him? Get money out of him for saving his life? Maybe even kill him in the end, anyhow?
I am tired, Captain Larrabee. I want to sleep now.
You're not going to answer?
I wish only to sleep now. Doctor!
Okay, stall. Don't confess you toted that machine gun up to that terrace. That it was you firing away on that pier. Play tired, play sick. Even beat the rap that way. But you'll still face charges for extorting $2,500. We've got you dead to rights on that.
No, Captain. I sent the $2,500 back. 5 years ago, I went from the hospital to jail for months without bail while the police tried to build a case. In the end, there was no evidence, and I was freed. Free to be watched through the years. Like tonight here in the Avalon Lounge. Guthrie Stewart is dead. But Captain Larrabee sits with me as we wait for a messenger to come.
Ludwig Heller?
Yes, I am Ludwig Heller.
I got an envelope for you. Sign here, please.
I'll take that letter, Ludwig. It's from the grave. The envelope reads, Ludwig Heller on my death. Guthrie Stewart. Now let's see what's inside. You know what's inside, maybe, Heller?
Yes, I think I know.
In a second, we'll both know. Doesn't say much.
Does it say, thank you, Ludwig, from the bottom of my heart?
Yes. Yes, it says exactly that, word for word. Guthrie Stewart thanking you? What for?
I have here in my pocket a letter for you, Captain. It was sent to me 5 years ago with a check that I returned. Guthrie Stewart told me to give this letter to you any time I wished. I wish now. Here, Captain.
Dear Captain Larrabee, Ludwig Heller's story is the truth, the whole truth. The woman plotting my murder is
Ellen, my wife. Not out of hatred, Captain, but out of sickness. A mind that has never been strong. She lives in darkness, and I, too, because of her. If I can keep this secret, I can live and perhaps help her. If Ludwig Heller can endure for me and carry my burden, even for a while, Ellen will be hospitalized, and we both will hope.
If Ludwig Heller has the strength.
Now, you understand, Captain Larrabee?
Those stock certificates I found in your room.
We put them there for you to find, Captain. Guthrie Stewart and I.
You did that? You took the kind of rap you did for Guthrie Stewart?
For a fellow human in distress, yes.
You let yourself be slapped around, hospitalized, jailed, hounded day and night for years, all for an absolute stranger?
For a reward, Captain. A great reward. Ellen Stewart was pronounced cured 6 months ago. I am not too young in years, but it has fallen to me, a mere waiter on tables, to bring a new life into the world. The life of Ellen Stewart.
Ludwig.
Yes, Captain Larrabee?
Let's shake hands.
Stop in at the Avalon Lounge, anybody, for the town's best service a la carte. Love that Ludwig. A man with a heart of gold and a terrifying knack for business. Other people's business. Big-hearted Ludwig borrowed Guthrie Stewart's troubles and almost lost his own interest in living. Oh, that suggests a moral. I overheard this one while eavesdropping on a short-order cook in a chop suey restaurant. Fool who not mind own business always get the business.
Inner Sanctum was heard in the United States over CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System, and has been rebroadcast for servicemen and women overseas through the facilities of the United States Armed Forces Radio Service, the voice of information and education.
is here. Now's the time for a bite of cheer. A tasty light where the price is right. Well, look at here, you'll dig the sight. The moment's handy for a piece of candy. Just name your brand, they're all so grand. Hey, what do you think of a nice cool drink? Or a big box filled with a popcorn thrill? Let your taste buds meet with an ice cream treat. Refresh yourselves, it's time to eat. So come on, folks, let's join the band as we all head for the refreshment stand.
Hope you're enjoying today's radio program. When it's done, be sure to check out our channel over at WatchWhile. Enjoy some tunes with a nice cold soda.
What is it, officer?
Man escaped from state prison, ma'am. This is just routine. Who are you and where have you been?
Oh, my name's Matson, Laura Matson. This is my husband, John. We've been to a party at Pritchard's Point. I'm afraid he overdid it.
May I check your driver's license, please?
Yes, of course.
What about your husband's?
Well, that's why I'm playing chauffeur. His license was suspended. Drunk driving.
Well, there's no need to bother him. He's had enough trouble for one night without waking up and staring into the badge of an officer. Very sorry to have inconvenienced you.
Well, that's quite all right. You played it smarter than I thought you would. If you'd pulled that gun, it would have been all over.
Still don't get it. Why'd you break me out?
You'll find out when we get where we're going.
Keep him around here to scare off visitors?
He served his purpose.
Yeah, I guess everybody does.
Julian, put the car away, will you? Is Paul waiting?
Been in there chewing up the carpet for 2 hours. Any trouble?
No. Joey Faust, this is Julian.
I've seen him before in a police bulletin.
Thank you.
Well, I was beginning to worry.
Major Krenner, may I present Joey Faust?
Major, does that surprise you, Mr. Faust? It's for real? What army? Well, there have been several. Take your choice. Please, Mr. Faust. It's lovely. What is it? It's only a bit of shrapnel. It's a keepsake.
That piece of shrapnel ended the Major's military career.
That will be all, Laura. You did well, my dear. Now run along and freshen up while Mr. Faust and I discuss business.
You'll excuse me? Major.
Go ahead. Take off the coat if you wish. I know you'd like an explanation. Why did you set up the break? Oh, I can use you. You have got a reputation in the underworld as somewhat of a genius when it comes to opening safes and vaults.
They must have dug that shrapnel out of your head. What kind of an idiot are you, Krenner? I can't poke my nose through a bank door without getting it blown off. Every newspaper in the country's got my picture.
You're bitter, Faust. Mean and bitter. You trust no one and you hate everyone. You're the kind of man I need and understand. Because I know all about your background.
Yeah. What do you know about me you couldn't have gotten out of any newspaper?
Well, I check closely on all the people I use. I know about the wife who turned you in and the child you've never been allowed to see.
I may owe you something. But if you ever mention my daughter's name again, you'll have another hole in your head, I promise you.
If you wish. Mr. Faust? Yes, your background explains your behavior. Now, we're conducting experiments requiring fissionable materials, and you'll procure them for us. Oh, you'll be well paid.
That's atom bomb stuff. The government has that locked up tighter than Fort Knox.
Precisely.
Include me a long way out, chum.
You're hardly in a position to bargain, Mr. Faust.
A man with a gun doesn't have to bargain.
Oh, true. But I'm certain Julia would disagree with you on that.
You know what one of these bullets will do, son? It'll rip out your spine and roll it up like a ball of string.
What's the score, Krenner?
You'll work for us faithfully, or you'll be turned over to the authorities. I understand there's a reward of $5,000 on your head.
And just what are these authorities going to say about your part in the break?
Police need know nothing of my part in the escape. You see, they'll also pay $5,000 for a dead Faust.
What do you want?
That'll be all for now, Julian. Come along to the laboratory.
You got a lab here?
Oh, yes. We're completely equipped for our experiments. I made an extensive search before selecting this ranch as an operational base. As you can see, this is quite a serious business. Dr. Ulof, come here.
Yes, Major Krenner.
Dr. Peter Ulof, Mr. Faust. Mr. Faust has joined us. He'll be supplying you with the vital materials. Dr. Ulof is an eminent nuclear scientist. Would you prepare one of your subjects for the ray treatment, Doctor? We must impress Mr. Faust with the end result of your highly acclaimed scientific labors.
Ulof. I've heard the name.
Oh, undoubtedly you have. I was quite fortunate in convincing him to continue his work here for me. Now, this vault is of lead, 2 inches thick. It contains our radioactive materials. Doctor, I told you to move this. The ray could penetrate this lead like butter, and the whole countryside would go up in a mushroom cloud.
There is so much you want.
Well, you have to change it. Are you ready for the demonstration?
I am ready.
Krenner. I agreed to do your dirty work for you, but I got to know what's going on.
Dr. Ulof would be glad to explain. Doctor?
This is the principle of X-ray that goes further. X-ray pierces only the outer shell of the body to show what lies beneath. This ray neutralizes all tissue and bone structure in the body. This machine utilizes X-ray, alpha, beta, and omega rays and ultraviolet, combining them for best effect and filtering out qualities which would hinder our operations.
Yeah. It'll seem more simple to you after you've seen what goes on.
Why are you so worried about this box?
Well, even a lead shield doesn't cut off all rays. It simply strains them considerably. Certainly still gets through.
Any accidental concentration of rays from this apparatus could set up a chain reaction in the materials in the vault. A nuclear fission could result.
Doctor? Come.
It's not going to hurt. No. Don't be afraid. That's a good love. Yes. Go ahead, Mr. Faust. Prove to yourself it isn't done with mirrors.
You see? I touch it. Does me no harm. You'll have any doubts, Mr. Faust?
No doubts.
You can return the animal to visibility, Doctor.
Hey, what happens to the guinea pig?
Ulof has perfected the ray to the point there's no danger to the subject. No ill effects at all. From the peephole, you'll find the guinea pig is unharmed. Your curiosity, Mr. Faust? As you could no doubt deduce, such a mechanism as this has unlimited possibilities.
Ah, like what?
Well, that'll come later. First things first, please. See? No harm done at all. Perfectly healthy. I imagine you've seen enough for one day, And you certainly must be tired after your trip.
Yeah, I could use a little sleep.
I'm sure Julia's found some clothes that'll fit you.
What is in here?
It's no concern of yours. Come on, Mr. Faust. I shouldn't be gone long. Leave the gate open and I'll lock it when I get back. I don't think you need to be cautious about Faust. He's dangerous and locks mean nothing to him, so I want you where you can watch his door at all times. Keep him in his room, you understand?
He won't go nowhere.
All right.
You in there, Faust. Ulof. Dr. Ulof.
What are you doing? What is it you want up here?
Take it easy, Doc. I just came up to see you. Thought maybe they had you locked up in there.
Not I. Only what's left of my soul.
Came to get some answers. You seem about the only one around here who isn't a member of Krenner's fan club.
I have nothing to say. I'm a servant. Major Krenner does my thinking for me.
What's he got on you, Doc?
Why do you ask me these things?
So I can get some answers. How'd you get mixed up in this?
My daughter. He's holding her.
In that cheese box? Well, open it up. Let her out.
Please, Mr. Faust, I do not joke. Not about my daughter.
All right, Doc. Start at the beginning. How'd you get over here?
At the end of the Second World War, I fled my own country with my baby daughter. My wife had died of experiments. I had been forced to perform on her in a concentration camp.
Your own wife?
All my patients wore hoods. I couldn't see their faces. I didn't know my wife was one of them until it was too late.
Well, it still doesn't explain how you got here.
I came to this country as a refugee. No one knew I was a scientist, except spies like Krenner. After my wife died, I wanted no more of science. But Krenner forced me to come here.
Use your daughter?
If I do not do as I'm told, she will be killed. If I carry out their orders, she has security. I have only a few more months to live. But Krenner has seen to it that she will be provided for.
You don't think he's going to keep that promise, do you?
What choice have I? Soon I'll be dead. But my daughter's life is at stake. You have indicated that you could open it.
Not now, Doc. I got problems.
Please, Mr. Faust, release my daughter and take her to some safe place.
Knock it off, Doc. I got my own troubles.
Then you can't open it.
I could open that thing blindfolded. Quite the little psychologist, aren't you, Doc?
That's good reasoning. Downstairs, Faust. And please try not to be amusing. Good night, Dr. Ulof.
What's next, Mata Hari? You gonna shoot me?
Crenner probably will when he gets back. He doesn't appreciate disloyalty.
Julian's the loyal type. All it got him was a lump in the head.
He's still out. I couldn't bring him around. What's so humorous?
For a dame that's supposed to be so greedy, you don't know a thing about playing a hole card.
Oh?
Ever think how much that ray would be worth to a guy who wanted to rob a bank? With that thing, I could get into every vault in the country in broad daylight.
Dream on, Buster. It sounds pretty.
Of course, to take on jobs like that, a fellow would have to have a little help. Now, splitting the take of a few of those would pay you a lot more than Crenner will ever give you in a lifetime.
You need background music for this commercial. Full orchestra and violins.
Huh? Don't believe me. Don't be a gambler.
Should I gamble on having my throat slit by Crenner or being shot by you?
Well, honey, that's a chance you'd have to take. Just like the risk I run every time I get onto that ray.
Well, if you don't take a chance, you never know. I'll keep it in mind. Thanks, Julian. He was trying to make a deal. You must have heard what he said. He was talking a double cross.
Yeah, I heard him. Sounded like you were listening awful close, too.
Keep quiet about this, Julian. Keep quiet and I'll help you. You know that Crenner's going to blame you for letting him out of his room. We've got to help each other now.
Julian?
Come on, help me.
Let's get in the room.
Julian?
Coming. I'm coming.
Open this door.
What happened? Where were you?
I was getting a broom. Want to sweep up that bottle I dropped.
I told you not to take your eyes off the Faust door.
Oh, him, he's out cold. I went in and picked up the bottle. Figured you didn't want him nipping in the morning when he wakes up.
You did right. He's got to be sober. Good night.
Good night.
What'd you do that for? Save your own skin?
This idea of yours does interest me. I figure you need me more than I need you. I thought you were up in the lab. What was that for?
Don't try it. Don't even think about it. Julian told me about your talk with Faust.
I didn't make any deal?
No, not yet, but I know you. My memory is too good. I remember our other deals. You don't think I gave you enough of a share, do you?
What are you talking about? What could I possibly have in common with Faust? He's a hood.
Just the type you go for. Laura, I don't care what you do with your life, but when it interferes with my plans, I draw the line. Well, that's a dot on the I. Lay off the vodka. I want you ready when I need you.
If you will relax, Mr. Faust, there will be no pain. You may lose consciousness for a few moments after you become invisible, but there should be no other ill effect.
How do you know it'll work on a human? Do you know what'll happen?
We made hundreds of such experiments. There can be no slip-up.
Come on, Doctor. We don't have all night. Is he all right?
His pulse is quite rapid, but that is to be expected.
Well, why is he breathing like that?
It may be shock.
Faust, can you hear me? Can you speak? Faust, try to sit up. He stopped breathing.
Well, do something. He's gone.
What?
It's Faust. He's here.
Faust, answer me. You... Faust, listen to me. You'll remain invisible till I want to return to normal. So you're...
If I choke you hard enough, you'll bring me back. Just showing you how badly you need me. And my loyalty costs money.
I told you we'd be well paid.
You neglected one thing, chum. How much?
$1,000. $1,000 every time you do a job.
Kreiner, if I'm going to be it, I want money. Lots of money.
Well, what do you expect? I can't pay that.
Oh, yes, you can, Major. I'm sure you can. Shall we talk it over in private? Downstairs? Hmm? Over here, Major. I'm waiting. After you, Major.
So you don't think 1,000 is enough?
You're a real case, Major. You think everyone's supposed to jump when you open your big fat mouth? Well, you've forgotten one thing.
Forgotten what?
You gotta have me, chum. Now, whatever you're up to, I'm worth plenty to you, or you wouldn't have gone to all that trouble of breaking me out. You're a dead duck without me.
What do you have in mind?
Well, walking into that nuclear vault's worth about 25 grand. Let's get a little air in here.
25 grand? You're mad. I don't have that kind of money.
Then you do the job, Major. That's the figure. 25 grand in small bills. COD, take it or leave it.
All right. You'll go tonight. Laura will drive you.
What's wrong with you?
I don't know. I just thought I heard something.
Back in 10 minutes. I got to check the other post.
And you didn't see anyone during all this?
Well, no, sir. I heard a clicking noise like the wheel on a vault was turning, and I told him about it, but neither one of us saw anything.
That's right. There was nothing when I started to check the other guard posts.
Then what?
Well, I turned around, and the vault door was opening all by itself. And I got up to check it, and I pulled my gun, and something was all over me, and then the next thing I know, I'm waking up.
What about the alarm panel? When did it get wrecked?
I don't know, Mr. Drake. It was okay when I came on duty. It couldn't have happened while I was checking posts, or he'd have noticed anyone tampering with it. It's set up with each of us covering the other.
Yes, but it's quite obvious neither one of you was covering the other. In fact, there was no coverage at all.
All right, Doctor. What was it you wanted to tell me about the guinea pig?
It was only a matter of time. It died despite of resistance it was developing against radiation. What about Faust? It's too early to tell. But each time it will take longer to reduce him to invisibility, less to return him to normal states. He will also develop a resistance.
What about the new material, the X-13?
I need more time to study it. Its properties are different from other nuclear materials. I do not like keeping it here. Its bombardment ratio is also much lower.
You're afraid of an explosion?
Yes.
We'll use the X-13 on Faust.
It could mean his death.
Doctor, I'm not concerned with the welfare of one man. I must know the full potential of your invention, because my aim is to make an entire army invisible. Do you understand? An entire army.
I did not agree to kill a man by deliberate radiation poisoning.
You're too old-fashioned to be a genius. But you scientists have brought the world to what it is today, and you can hardly blame me for taking advantage of your discoveries.
Faust may already suffer from poisoning, but it's curable. X-13 will put him beyond that point. I will not use it on a human.
No? If you have an alternative, Doctor, I'd be very happy to discuss it with you.
Oh, that ray is something. Something every cheap safe cracker in the country's been dreaming of. Too bad the doc didn't invent it years ago for the right people. He wouldn't be cooped up here now.
You better lay off the giggle water. He can't use you drunk, you know.
If it's a case of my using him, now come on with a drink. Oh, I could have walked into that vault in broad daylight and done the same thing. It was so easy, I felt like I was taking Crunder's money away from him.
Interesting thought, Faust. This time you do it the hard way. In daylight.
Well, through with me so soon, huh? Gonna get me killed off?
Oh, no, not at all. But I've learned that security has been tripled on the vaults during the night shift. 6 men. But it hasn't been strengthened during the day.
Just where do you get these gems?
He has sources. You better believe him.
One more haul, and we'll have enough for our present supply and work. You won't need this, and we're ready in the lab.
You can't get away with this in broad daylight, Joey. Why don't you stop running Krenner's errands? Let's not get any more involved.
Don't get emotional, baby. You're nice as a playmate. Let's keep it that way. Let's understand that,
Well, they may not see you, but they're bound to see the lead container when you try to get it out.
Got it all wrong, honey. Today's the day we take the bank.
In broad daylight, you're crazy.
You're talking to a professional, remember? I don't have to worry about time locks or anything like that. Just walk in, pack up the loose cash, and walk out, and you, sweetheart, are going to be waiting for me. Oh, don't even say it. Your cut will be 40%. I'll have to climb out.
Oh, my Lord.
Don't let anybody move. You won't get hurt.
What's the matter? What's
Drive.
the change?
Drive.
Well, thank you very much for your cooperation, miss.
I only hope it does some good.
I'm sure.
Security.
Good day now.
They did. How long ago? Okay. Guess we can't stop it now. Story's out. The reporter was at the police station when the alarm came in.
Well, there's no doubt it was Faust. Everyone at the bank's identified him.
Well, what can we do? The man makes himself invisible. Locks mean nothing to him. If he did take the X-13, what defense do we have against him?
Nothing. None.
Hold it here.
There must be something we can do.
Yeah, if I can just get down to Ulof. I can't get back to the house till I'm invisible again.
Police report the so-called invisible man who robbed the Coatesville National Bank has been identified as Joey Faust, escaped convict and safecracker. Witnesses said the robber became visible before their eyes. Citizens are warned.
Oh, he's got to come back, and that tramp, too. I'll teach them to double-cross me. Take my bags outside and then watch for them.
Right.
I know some people in Mexico. We can go there and start all over again. I know what I've been, Joey, but I can change all that. What are you doing?
Giving you your split. You're on your own, baby.
But you said we'd be together.
Honey, right now I need a car more than I need you. So you can start walking anytime.
But you just can't go off and leave me. Joey!
Goodbye, Laura.
We'll leave everything except the nuclear materials. Please catch Faust and hear his story. They'll be all over us.
I will not.
What?
I've been running away most of my life.
Doctor, there's something wrong with your formula, but we'll work it out in a new location. An invisible army is worth billions.
An army of dead men, Major.
I'm taking Marie with me. I'm sure you'll come along.
No.
Marie, my dear.
Let me out of here! Doc, what's wrong? Why do I keep appearing and disappearing?
I don't know. I needed more time to study the X-13 before trying it out on you.
Oh, fine. Well, you're going to do something about it. I've got to be normal, and you're going to take care of it.
I will, but not in this place.
Oh, why not? I got him locked up.
I want to be taken away from here, my daughter and I. Only then I will treat you.
But... All right, let's blow out of here.
Forget something? Where's Faust?
He's in the house.
Major knows all about you and Faust. Said you'd be back. Inside. Come on down, Faust.
Put that thing down.
I take my orders from the Major. I have to.
The Major?
Let me. Julian, you believe what he told you about your son being alive in prison and in Europe?
Yes, I do.
You're a fool. Your son's dead, Julian. Krenner's been using you all along.
She's right. So you had to come back. Come on. I told you to hit the road. It was for your own good.
But Joey, please give me a chance.
Sweetheart, you had your chance in.
Joey!
All right, come on. Come on, Judy.
Do you know what Krenner is after? A process, so an invisible army can invade your country.
I don't care about Krenner or his army. I care about me.
Oh, this is futile. Krenner has found me before. He'll find me again.
I've got money, and I know places across the border he never heard of. Now, how long are these treatments going to take?
You may someday be declared a martyr, Mr. Faust. A man who sacrificed himself so that the invisible army might not overrun your country.
What are you trying to pull? You want it out of here. I made a deal with you. Now you cross me and I'll kill you.
I'm a dying man, Mr. Faust. Radiation poisoning. You're dying, too. You're worse off than I.
You're lying.
You have only weeks, perhaps days to live.
You used me just to get away from Krenner.
To free Maria. I had no choice. Come on. Are you so intent upon evading the police for a few remaining days? Don't you care what Krenner is doing to your country?
Why should I care? What did my country ever do for me but try and bury me in a concrete tomb for the rest of my life?
I'm thinking of my child. You should think of yours. Perhaps you deserve prison. But did Maria deserve what has happened to her? Did her mother need to die? Is this the kind of world you want for your child? That is what an invisible army will bring. I have seen it.
How much longer I got?
A month. No more.
for me.
There is a man who has unlocked every door except the one to his own soul. Now he has the key. Come, my dear, we must find a telephone and notify the police.
Drake & Smith, security.
Sorry, I got my orders. No one enters this area. Too much fallout for safety.
All right, officer. Just a minute. Be with you in a minute, Smitty. Well, Doctor, you and your friends have succeeded in blowing up half the county. There isn't enough left out there to make ashes.
I'm deeply sorry, of course. But as I told you before, I didn't do anything by choice. I warned Major Krenner of the danger involved. But you must realize his was a deranged mind. All he could think of was the creating of an invisible army and the power such a force would give him.
You know, Doctor, this idea of an invisible army is quite interesting. Imagine what our counterintelligence could accomplish if they were able to become invisible whenever necessary.
The Central Intelligence Agency has already discussed the possibilities with me. But my friend, think of the danger if the secret were stolen from us. It has happened before, you know. Perhaps it would be better if we Let the secret die with Major Krenner and Joey Faust. It's a serious problem. What would you do?
Thanks for watching the Baba Ghoulie Show by OTR Halloween Holidays. This is Waddle the Duck saying check out Channel Watch Waddle for some fun cartoons with no static.